Welcome to another episode of the Cisco U. My name is Rafael Lebo Ochoa. Security is one of the most challenging things that we have to deal with as IT administrators. Now we have firewalls, we have IPS devices, we have routers and switches that can typically deal with any aspect of the security that we need to perform while the user's inside the enterprise, our environment of control. However, what if this person starts roaming around? What if he goes to a coffee shop? What if he goes visits a friend? What if he goes to an overseas trip? How do we guarantee that this person is following the policies when it comes to the file policies that he may need to follow, when it comes to downloading specific types of files or visiting specific types of websites that can be compromising? It's very difficult to do that when you're dealing with a person that's roaming around doing his everyday work. One way that we can accomplish this is by using Cisco Umbrella. With Cisco Umbrella, we can provide a policy that the user has to follow, regardless if he's inside the enterprise or roaming around. Now, the nice thing about Cisco Umbrella, it's a cloud-based technology. So this means that we don't have to install anything on the enterprise. It's all cloud-based. Once you sign up for an account, you will have access to deploy these policies on a user, whether he's inside the enterprise or roaming around in the world doing his everyday work. So let's go ahead and show you how to use Cisco Umbrella in order to better manage policies for a user. In order to deploy Cisco Umbrella successfully on your network, you first need to get a Cisco Umbrella account. Once you establish a Cisco Umbrella account, you'll be able to log in to this Umbrella console that will allow you to have a variety of different options in order for you to control access when it comes to any user inside your network or either roaming around in the world. So the first thing you need to do is go to deployments. And as you can see, under deployments, there's a lot of different options that we have available in order for us to send traffic over to the Cisco Umbrella network. So one of the options, which is probably the most simplest, is going into networks and providing an IP address that you know the users will use in order to access the internet in order for them to go to websites. As you can see, I entered my own. I called it my network, and I provided the IP address that I know they're going to be using when it comes to netting to go out to the internet. If I want to add an additional network, or if I want to add a new network, if this is the first time me adding this, I can go up here where it says add, click on add. And as you can see here, I can name my network whatever I want, provide the IP address or the range of IP addresses that I know they'll be using during netting in order for the Umbrella network to be able to identify them. Now, the other part of the configuration requires you to configure the DNS settings on the device to the Cisco Umbrella DNS servers. As you can see here at the top, we have a list of IPv4 and IPv6 DNS servers that you can send over to the Cisco Umbrella network in order for DNS resolution. This is how we're able to identify your network IP and grab the traffic and apply policies to it. Once that is done, you will see on the right-hand side under status, once we start receiving traffic from that particular IP or range of IP addresses, it will automatically go to active. The next part of this, once you start delivering traffic over to the Umbrella network using the DNS settings, is by configuring policies. You notice that right now we have a default policy. If we want to edit that policy, we go over to the policies configuration, DNS policies, and as you can see, we have a default policy. Here we can go ahead and manipulate all of the different policy configurations when it comes to file access, when it comes to the content that they can access, and even provide permanent default exceptions of websites that they can and cannot have access to. One of the more simplest ways in order for us to filter access is by going over to the content settings applied. If you click on edit, you can set what particular level of access that they will have, whether it's high, moderate, low, or customized access. If you set it to high or moderate, notice on the right-hand side, the type of websites that they can visit changes vastly. So once you apply the changes and you save the changes, The changes will automatically take effect when the user tries to access any of the restricted websites. So now when the user tries to go to a website using his computer, let's just say that he tries to access a restricted website like a dating website, like dating.com, you will automatically see a block page appear, indicating that they're violating the policy and that they're not allowed to visit that website. This is one of the many ways that you can use Cisco Umbrella in order to block unwanted access to content that you don't want the user to have accessibility to. As you can see, with Cisco Umbrella, we can provide very simple information such as the IP address of our network that we're using for NATing, and then configure the client with the Umbrella DNS server IP address in order to capture the traffic to filter what access they will have anywhere on the internet, whether they're in the office or roaming around. Now, in the next video, we're going to show you how to go ahead and configure the Umbrella network to capture traffic directly from one of your network devices, and also how to configure more advanced policies. So I'll see you in the next video.